Hi guys, I'm back and I'm doing a tutorial for how to make your own layouts for Howrse. Or I guess you could use this tutorial for any layout, any place that uses HTML that you want to use a layout with scrolling text boxes and stuff on a picture. You can use this. I understand some other Howrse games, I think Horseland or Horse Isle or some others like that. I don't know, I don't play them. But I remember seeing a site called Ebony Graphics that made Howrse layouts that was for any Howrse site, and it listed a bunch of them that you could use them on. So anyway, we're going to use this picture as a manipulation that I did a tutorial on how to make manipulations in Rivet. It's an online editor. Which, speaking of the online editor, this is Rivet. Rivet is a really awesome online photo editor that works a bit like Photoshop for much less money, free. And even though some of the options say premium, if you come up here to upgrade, you'll see that it says, well, if it ever loads, you'll see that it says Rivet Premium is free to celebrate our launch. Rivet is on us. And so far as I know, Rivet has been like this for about a year and a half now that I've been using it. So it doesn't look like they're changing anytime soon. And I read somewhere when they were changing, their fee was going to be like $1 a month or something like that. So like $12 for a subscription. So it's not going to be bad if it does go premium, but I don't see it going premium anytime soon. And even so, most of the awesome features aren't premium labeled. So we're going to continue editing here because I just need to use this photo. And the first thing you need to do when you're making the picture for the layout is get the pictures, and you better not be stealing the pictures. I always try to use, there's a place called pngimage.com. pngimage.com has a bunch of pre-cut objects. They've got like 40 some odd pre-cut horses, pre-cut everything. They don't require attribution on the picture, although I often do just to be nice. And because if you don't put attribution on the picture, people automatically accuse you of stealing it, even though the place you got the picture from didn't ask you to put attribution on it. So it's just easier to credit the image whether you're supposed to or not. And you can use images that you haven't done manips with, of course. Most of my layouts are non-manips, but I already had this picture loaded up here, and I didn't want to make a new picture right now, so we're going to be using this. Plus, I was going to make a layout out of this anyway. And now we're going to put our text on, because the text is the first thing. First thing I need to do is add an extra credit line to this, actually, because I did it before because I wasn't sure if I was going to use it for a layout or not. But, I mean, add the rest of my credit here and we'll get on with it. Rivet does not allow you to do some things it does, which involve, so you want to put your titles on somewhere where you're going to be able to see them after you've got your credit on. So, you can look for a font to use, such as, and here's one, and put on your text. For this I'm just going to do standard titles, but you know, you can do any kind you want, obviously. And click add. You can change the size here or here. I sometimes do it here because it's way more precise. And we can get this to come with us here. And too big, I think. I want to try this one. That's better. Now let's bring it down to a more normal size and put it about, that's still too big. Put it about here. And common titles, or if you're doing a free use layout and you don't know what to do, common titles are my horses, my game, about me, my equestrian center, or my EC if you can't fit equestrian center, advertisements, other things like that. So you can put, you got to be careful where you try to put your text boxes, because when you're coding your layout, there's going to be so many pixels in the space, or else they won't, it won't scroll right, it will come out corrupted. I'm not exactly sure why. But you definitely can't have a bunch of text boxes like just covering a picture. That requires a table code, which I don't get into because they're really hard. A welcome message is also cool. There's a way you can fix it so that a person can type their own username up here. You just make a scroll box, like a regular scroll box, but it's huge and has a big font size. And the only downside to doing that is that you can't have fancy fonts like this. It has to be a simple font like Arial or Comic Sans, MS, or Verdana. And so I usually don't do that on layouts like this because they kind of call for a cursive script, and it looks funny to have a plain text username on top. So I tend to just put a generic message on the layout. Whoops, I'm right past it. There it is. This is a cool font. And we can bring it up here, make it huge, so people can see it. We're going to try to center it. Well, not really center it, just put it over there. And the next thing we can do is going to be add backgrounds to our text boxes. Because you can see on this layout with all these trees and the dark colors, white would get bleached out in the places where there's light green, and black would be invisible here, and bright wild colors would show up, but they would look fun. So what you can do is come over here to, stickers, and we're on load, and you can come down here to geometric, and you can use a square if you want, but the square has a downside, that if you want a big tall text box, you can't, because it has to be wide to be tall, because it's square. So I usually use a rectangle, so it can be any size I want. There we go. And of course we might have to adjust it a little bit. Maybe bring this like that, centered above the box. That looks like a good size, but of course you don't want a solid black box covering up your picture. So what you do is you can start fading it. You can do that or do white. I usually fade a white text box because they look best, and you can put black text on them and it shows up good. And then you can right click and duplicate it, because if you just do another one you can, but you might have the wrong, they might not match because the fades might have turned out different. It's okay if your cursive letters dip into your squares a little bit. They might not, depending on the font you choose to use. And that don't look too bad. And I don't know, maybe we'll put an updates box on this real quick, but we're going to have to move that. And to do an updates box, we'll just duplicate that, bring it up here, make a long skinny box right about there, and then we'll come back over here to text. We'll right click one of these, duplicate type, drag it up here. We're going to make it black because there's so much white there you can't see it. And we're going to change it to updates. And there you have it. Now this is how, whoops, that's not close enough. There you go. This is how you do the image editing part. And I'm going to be doing a secondary video for the coding part, simply because I can only do a 10-minute video with YouTube's limit, and I'm not going to be able to stuff the entire coding into the last minute of this video. So, thanks for watching part 1, and I hope you watch part 2, because if you don't, you won't learn anything. And thanks for watching.